Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Everton 0, Fulham 1. A disappointing start to the season. Very much like last season, going down 1-0 to a West London club. The overriding emotion is just disappointed with that today. I think we should have easily have won the game. I think we could have scored 4 or 5. On another day, or someone else would have scored 4 or 5. We would never have scored 4 or 5. But we should have won the game. We had lots of clear chances to win the game. We've had a goal disallowed for absolutely no reason, and let's not confuse the two things. By the way, as well, you can be disappointed that we didn't score goals, and you still can be disappointed that we didn't get a goal given. At the end of the day, the referee has robbed us there of a goal. Whether it would have been the winning goal, who knows? But he's robbed us of a goal. Simple as that. The whistle should never have been blown. The ball should have been allowed to go into the back of the net, and then the ref should have made the decision. That's what we have VAR for. Simple as that. If the ball had gone into the back of the net, the referee and VAR would have had to have made the decision. That was taken away from VAR by the simple fact of the whistle was blown, and he's robbed us, and he's cheated the system as well. He's cheated the system. It should have been a goal for Michael Keane. James Tarkowski didn't do anything. But as I said, on another day we could have scored. But the problems from last season are the problems right now. Exactly the same. Opportunities to win games, certainly at home, and they're not taken. And it was exactly the same against Fulham. It was exactly the same in half a dozen games last season playing at home. And those problems persist. And when are the football club going to deal with those problems? When are they going to deal with those problems? Because these are the things that have been staring us in the face for a very long time as a football club. We all know it in the fan base. And I'm sure they know it, but they've got to deal with it, because these things are the difference. These are what can be the difference between a very easy season where you finish mid-table and a season like last season. And the football club have got to get their finger out. And when I say I know they know it, that's fine. But they've known it for a year and they haven't done it. And to be starting Premier League games with Neil Maupay who just doesn't fit how we play. Has to be addressed, because the lad is just not capable of playing in the system. That doesn't forgive him for some of the chances he's missed today, but I'll come on to that when I actually talk about the players themselves. It's just, to be honest, we had a good chance today of kicking off the season really well, and it's disappointing that we haven't. Simple as that, because we should have won that game comfortably, and in years gone by we would have won that game very, very comfortably. But big chance, and not just Maupay, by the way. Decore's missed a sitter. Nathan Patterson has missed an absolute sitter there as well, by just not having any composure. But as I said, I'll talk more about individuals in a moment. Just this, the whole thing was disappointing to me today. I don't know how other people feel, but I personally just feel like the last two seasons are just rolling into this season, and there's no break from them. So every game just feels like a continuation of the season before, rather than it being its own new thing and its own thing to get excited about. And that can just create a situation where there's no excitement, so therefore the crowd don't get up for the game and all those kind of things. So, and a win would have gone a long way to sealing that today and helping them with that. But of course, the team news at 2:00 doesn't help as well. When there's no Dominic Calvert-Lewin, people were expecting them to play. The manager said after the game, I told you on Thursday he wasn't going to be playing, basically because he hasn't finished his rehab program. Then you've got Dan Juma on the bench. There's obviously no McNeil. And we're putting square pegs in round holes in a way, like we have been. So, same problems persist, and it is really disappointing that we haven't, sorted out those issues over the summer. As I say, I'm not going to get angry about it, because I do feel that the window now will start to come alive, and we have to look for those players. So we have to learn from today and hope Dominic Calvert-Lewin is back, or Dan Juma is available, or whatever. But it's on them now. They've got over 2 weeks, nearly 3 weeks, to find solutions for the problem that's been staring them in the face for a very long time. So let's get into it anyway. Jordan Pickford, he was fine today. Some of his kicking at times was a little bit off, but he was, trying to get us going. Obviously, a lot of long balls. Didn't have really that much to do, if I'm honest. Didn't have that much to do. Was trying to played actually one really good ball down the middle that nearly got us in. But again, he's trying to get us going with his kicking. It doesn't always work, but as I said, absolutely fine. So I'll give him 6.5. Nathan Patterson, I'll be honest, I thought Nathan Patterson was way below par today, if I'm honest. I thought he looked very shaky up against Willian very early. And even though Willian went off, I thought he just looked shaky all the game. I thought his defending positioning was an issue. Going forward, never looked really confident in his own ability. Should have scored. He smashed an effort against the bar, which he should have just calmly put into the back of the net. Bit of composure there. And yeah, I just thought his all-round game was off it today. I don't think he was at blame for the goal, because I think he had to go over. Garner's positioning was he was far too up the field. We were caught really quickly after the sub. Everyone was dragged over to the left-hand side. It's left, Patterson's had to come over, and Garner's actually just far too high up. James Garner's far too high up the pitch. But I think Patterson's still got a long way to go before he's comfortable playing right back. He just doesn't seem almost comfortable in his own skin. Like he almost believes he's good enough to play in that position yet. But he is our right back. If I had the option to put Seamus Coleman in there today, I'd put Seamus Coleman in there. I hold my hands up and say that, because I just think there's still. But Patterson has to grow more. He has to get stronger. I think he has to get stronger, because I think Willian just big time had him off today early on till he got the injury. But I just think he has to get more out of himself. He just hasn't figured out his game. I just don't think he's figured out his game. He's still young. He's got to get a run of games without injuries and just start figuring out the Premier League of his positioning. And I just thought he was off it today. I just thought he was off it, and I think I'm being nice. I think I'm saying that in the nice possible way, because I'm going to be trying to be a lot nicer to footballers this year. So yeah, I've given Nathan Patterson a 5. He's got to improve on that performance. On the other side, Ashley Young, I thought he started the game really well. I thought he had a really calm head, kept it together really well. Instead of just smashing a ball down the pitch, he was keeping it really. He was keeping the ball, making sure we kept the ball. Ground duels were only 2 out of 5, but aerial duels 2 out of 2. He looked very calm. He looked very just calm about his whole game. Accurate passes 21 out of 27, 78%. You can see the experience in his game. I'd like to have seen him get forward more, I must admit, but he never really had any opportunities to get forward. But I thought he was steady. I thought in the second half it started to catch up with him a little bit. Not necessarily like his fitness, just more as the game started getting dragged around a little bit. So, yeah, but but perfectly fine. Derby. Perfectly. I was looking at something else then. Sorry. Perfectly calm debut for Ashley Young. The centre backs, James Tarkowski, absolutely fine. Decent game. Should he, obviously Jimenez and then Mitrovic, obviously always going to be tough. Always going to be tough. But I think obviously that's why the manager's gone for James Tarkowski and Michael Keane for the first game of the season. For Tarky was fine. As I said, the disallowed goal, he's done nothing there. Absolutely nothing wrong. He stood his ground. The goalie's lost it, and Michael Keane's put it in. I've given James Tarkowski 6.7. And Michael Keane, I thought for the most part he was fine as well. As I said, should not have had the goal disallowed as far as I'm concerned. Again, did he need to be dragged over for the goal? Probably not. But you could probably find fault in a lot of areas of that goal. Michael Keane should not be getting dragged over to that area of the pitch, which means Nathan Patterson get dragged over. James Garner's too high up the pitch. But I thought Michael Keane was reasonably fine. I don't think he was really troubled as such defensively. I think there was maybe a couple little shaky moments in the first half. But I'll forgive everyone on the first game of the season. I'll never think you're ever ready for the first game of the season. Physically, I still think it's something that builds up over the first 5, 6, 7 games, getting to that Premier League level. So I think there's always going to be mistakes in that first few games of the season as you're trying to shake the cobwebs off of getting up to that level. And there will be mistakes, but Michael Keane was fine today. I've given him 6.3. Idrissa Gana Gueye. I thought first half he was losing the ball a little bit too much and just making again a little bit just like silly little things he was doing, like losing the possession or silly little passes or just small little things. But I think as the game went on, I think he got better as the game went on. Just sitting in front of that back four. 71 touches, which is a lot for a centre midfielder. Ground duels, 6 out of 9. That's his job. So he's done his job in that respect. So I think he got better as the game went on. So I've give him a 6.7. Onana next to him. I was disappointed in Onana today. I've got to say, I was disappointed in his performance. I want him to grab a game by the scruff of the neck. I really do. I've said this a lot last season. I just want to see him grab a game by the scruff of the neck and take it on. I think it's he had 39 touches in the game. He's a centre midfielder with a lot of promise. I just think he this is a big season for him. Last week the plaudits were all there from last week in Sporting because he really dominated the game. And I just want to see him do that in the Premier League. I don't know. It's just not quite there for him. He's just not getting into games enough. He's just not doing enough in the game. He's neat and tidy, yeah. But is he dominating in midfield? Is he, there's been a lot of talk this week about price tags and £100 million for, £110 million for centre midfielders and £50 million for, players around Onana's age who've been relegated. And then does that make Onana's price suddenly, does that suddenly push that up to a silly figure? I don't know, but I just think there has to be more. I think there just has to be more coming from him in these games. It's not. We're not playing Liverpool. We're not playing Man United. We're not playing Manchester City. We're playing Fulham at home. And I just, for the life of me, I can't understand why he's not he's not getting into these games more and not getting on the ball more and not running with the ball and just not affecting. Why isn't he affecting the game more? I find it very, very strange that we can't get him into better positions. It's worrying. It is worrying for me that we can't get him into those areas. So we need more from him. He's going to play centre midfield, especially when one of your centre midfielders is in Ghana Gay is someone who'll sit in. Obviously, he's going to sit in for you. You've got the other one who's the core, who's trying to break, who's trying to be the second striker. So that other one, which is Onana, needs to do a lot more for me. I mean, maybe the ball's in the air too much. I don't know. Does he work hard enough? It's always hard to tell. You'd have to see the stats, the running stats, to say whether he works hard enough. I'm just looking at his heat map here. It's not massively impressive, I must admit, looking at his heat map. I just want more from him, I really do, because I do think there's more in there as a player. I think he's just he's just too laid back on the pitch for me. I think he needs a rocket up his backside to get him going. So yeah, I've given him 6.3. Someone needs to just give him a really good shake, and say, come on, you could be the talisman of this team if you really got yourself going. So, a little bit disappointed there with Onana. The Corey, listen, missed a massive chance to make it 1-0. And a really easy chance. He's through on goal, and then his feet get in the way, essentially. His feet get in the way. If he takes that shot earlier, he scores because the keeper hasn't advanced out. Have a look how close he is when he takes that shot to the goalie. He's right on top, and yet when he got the ball, there's miles between him and the goalie. There's such bad control, and it ends up costing him the ability to score. Again, some of his passing wasn't great today. I mean, ultimately as well, he gets played in a position to create, have those chances as the man running through midfield. And if he gets opportunities like that and he doesn't put the ball in the back of the net, then what else is he really? That's his job in the team, I think, to find those spaces, pockets of space to run into, to get the chances. So, yeah. Should have given us the lead in this game. Should definitely have given us the lead in this game. I've given him a 6. James Garner. I think he had a good game today. I'm watching the goal back. I'm disappointed in him when he in the goal. I think he should do much better. I don't think he should be that high up the pitch. Certainly for the role he was playing in as well, I don't think he should be that high up the pitch in that moment. But I thought he had a really good game in general. I thought he was really busy. I thought he was in the game all the time. Very composed on the ball as well. Doesn't get flustered on the ball at all. Keeps it nice and tidy, as I said. And I was really surprised that he got took off, actually, because I thought it could have been Onana, but you keep him on for his height. Or it could have been Adisa Garner Gay, and then James Garner moves into a central area. And I didn't really understand why he took him off, because I did think he was having a really good game. Ground duels won. He won 7 out of 8 of his ground duels. Touches 47. 81% pass accuracy. So he had a really good, steady game for me. There's definitely a player in there who's got more to come as he moves inside, or even, as a lot of people are saying in the comments, maybe back to right back. I think he'd be a very steady head at right back if Sean Dyche did start getting nervous about Nathan Patterson's performances. We'll wait and see. So I've give James Garner a 7.5 for the game. Alex Iwobi, I thought Alex Iwobi had a good game as well. There was one brilliant run in the first half where he nearly ended up in the Bullens. Beating 2 men for the ball, showed some great pace. Very unlucky with the shot in the second half. Leno pushed it onto Patterson. That's the one that hit the bar. Obviously, always trying to create chances. Nearly got a goal at the top far post. A little flick by Dan Juma, given an opportunity. He never really looked committed. Never really had the belief. That's something I do think he lacks. That belief in his own ability. That he had a chance early on where he should have done a lot better, I think. So yeah, I think he had a decent game. I've given him 7.3 for the game. 50 touches, which is brilliant for someone playing wide, and obviously everything goes through him for us. It's just that final little thing at the end of everything he does. He just doesn't always look like he fully believes in himself. I don't think he ever looks fully like he just believes he's going to score or believes that he's going to get the cross right or whatever. So, but a good start of the season for him. So long may that continue. Neil Mopai up front. What can we say? Just poor, wasn't he, in terms of his finishing? Do you know what? His movement's really good, Neil Mopai. His movement's really good. And he would suit some teams, maybe with a slower pace. He would suit teams where I don't know. I don't think those teams are in the Premier League. But he had 3 really good chances today, and he just can't put the ball in the back of the net, and that's the top and bottom of it. He's got no composure in front of goal. He probably does it all week in training. He probably does it all week, and he's probably lifting them over the goalkeeper or whatever. But the simple fact is, he does not suit the way we play. After 20 minutes, we're sending long balls to him. I just, what is the point of that? What is the point of doing that? It's crazy. He just doesn't suit anything about the way we play. He had 3 shots on target today, and he should have scored. He should have scored probably 2 of them, and he's had 1 off target very early on in the game where he maybe just gets a little bit of bend on it that goes in at the far post. He's just 21 passes as well, which is touches, which is it's not in the game enough. He's just not he's just not good enough, is he? And that's I'm not being audible there, because I'm going to try and not be audible, but he's just not good enough, is he? And other teams would not put up with it. And that's my biggest concern, is that other clubs wouldn't put up with it. And I don't mean the fans. I'm not trying to get the fan. I'm just saying the manager just wouldn't put up with it. The manager would insist on a new striker. And the manager's come out and said about Dom, he said, well, he hasn't finished his fitness program yet. It's but a manager just wouldn't put up with this, or another club wouldn't put up with this. They wouldn't put up with a guy that everybody knows isn't good enough. They just wouldn't put up with that. Listen, I'm not here to have a go at him, as in, I'm not having a personal go at him. But the lad scored 1 goal last season. He's had 3 really good opportunities today, or certainly 2 really good opportunities. and he can't put them in the back of the net. So he must know he's under pressure. He must know, but he doesn't pick himself. You know, if Everton said to me, "Do you want to start up front?" I'd play up front for Everton. Of course I would. But they've got to get somebody in. They've got to. Because if we don't, I'm not sitting here. I am not sitting here for 1 minute saying, for me, Dom is like, honestly, Dom's like when you get a Kit Kat and it's all chocolate. It might happen, but if it does, it's gonna be once in a blue moon. So I'm not thinking Dom's gonna come back and he's gonna solve all our problems. And no one at Everton should. And 12 months ago, we said this. And I think a lot of people watching will have said the same thing. We all want Dom to do well. But actually, none of us actually believe he will. None of us actually believe he'll come back and will get anywhere near the level he was consistently. He might have the odd game like he did at Brighton. But sadly, his body just lets him down again and again and again. And we're waiting for him again and again and again. And Everton have to go and get a striker. You know, and whether that means they have to get someone on loan or, you know, with a deal for the end of the season or what, Everton have got to go and sign a striker. Because the fans are, you know, I'm in the game, I'm at the game and I'm listening to fans. And there's no excitement about being at the game today. You know, there's no one's I know people go on social media and go, "Oh, I can't wait for the match," but they go to the match because they can't wait to go and see their mates, or they want to go and have a bevy in the Winslow or the Brick or the Blue House or the Oak. I'm just naming them all in case anyone wants to advertise. They're excited for that side of the game, but the minute they walk in and they park their asses in a seat or stand up in the Gladys Street and get a bad back after half an hour, like me, the excitement soon goes away because it is like Groundhog Day. It just feels the same as it was last season, and it feels the same as it was the season before, because you know there's gonna be a struggle. You know it's gonna be a tough year. You know it's gonna be us scraping around down the bottom. So straight away you're preparing yourself for that. And that's horrible. That's horrible. You know, we need a little bit of excitement. We need something to get us out of our seats, and it's not there. But what we need is a centre forward. We need a centre forward who can bring other players into the game. We need a centre forward who can finish, you know, 1 in 3 of his chances. Or we need options. We need a player to come off the. I mean, we brought Dan Juma and Dobbin on, and neither of them are centre forwards. They're wide forwards. And I'm not, you know, we haven't got a centre forward on the bench. Because all we've got is Neil Maupay and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yes, we've just brought Jimity in, but let's not drag his name into it when he's absolutely nowhere ready to play for Everton's first team. So in the next 2 weeks, or nearly 3 weeks, if Everton do what they did in January, then you deserve everything you get. That's not me being horrible on Neil Maupay, but because it's just not good enough. The proof is in the pudding. So I've given Maupay a 5 today. You can't excuse those chances he's missed. You just can't. That's what he's paid for. He's paid to put the ball in the back of the net, and he's had big chances there, and he's missed them. So Everton have got to go out and that's why we lose games of football. We lose games of football for that very reason. It's because we can't put the ball in the back of the net. I know Tom Cannon was on the bench, but he's the manager is the manager. He ain't using Tom Cannon. It's just the way he is. But he also isn't the answer, is he? He's not the answer. The kid will get, if we get a strike and the kid will go on loan to Preston, that's good. That is good. Yeah. What did I give? I give him a 5. Yeah. That score will get lower as the season goes along if those performances continue. But it's the first game of the season, and I'm trying to be nice. Don't have to be nice. I'm just trying to be nice. Danjuma came on for the last 18 minutes plus 6. So nearly 25 minutes. One horrendously terrible shot on goal. Lucky for him, he was already offside. His legs just looked like they completely went and he didn't have a clue what to do. He only had 8 touches of the ball. He didn't really make any kind of real impact as such. Yeah, I don't know what I can give him. To be honest. A 5.8. Lewis Dobbin was on for the last 7 minutes plus 6. Or something like that. He didn't. Yeah, he did all right. He did all right. Again, Lewis Dobbin made some runs. A couple of crosses, I think. Or a couple of pullbacks. Again, didn't offer loads. Neither of them did, to be honest. He didn't really change the trajectory of the game, let's put it that way. So, Lewis Dobbin, I'll give 5.7. They didn't change the trajectory of the game whatsoever. So, that is that, isn't it? And we've been beaten. So, great start at the beginning of the season. What I will say is, just looking at Sofa score, Bert Leno got 9.5 for his performance. So the XG it was 2.93, and I saw someone on Twitter before saying no team had higher XG last season in the Premier League without scoring. So all like the numbers say we should have won, but that's Everton, isn't it? If you don't put the ball in the back of the net, none of it matters. Absolutely none of it matters. You have to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. And if you can do that, then things might be a little bit different. So there you go. There's my start. There's my player ratings for the first game of the season. I will try and remain calm for the upcoming season, because we are who we are, aren't we? We are who we are in terms of our players, who we've got right now. Everton have to go out and get some more. It's great them coming out, Kevin Felwell, and saying, well, we're trying to sort out an unbalanced squad and blah, 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 blah. No, you've got to get as a centre-forward. You just have to get as a centre-forward. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very long season. But yeah, there you go. As I said, we should have won. We should have won the game. We should have won. Fulham were there for the absolute taking. They had 2 efforts all game, one at the post, and they wanted the goal. Apart from that, they did absolutely nothing. So, Everton, another team would have beat them 4-0, 5-0 today. But there you go. They came, they got the goal, they got the 3 points. There you go. Anyway, make sure you check out, if you haven't already, my Gladys Street reaction. Make sure you check out Baz's videos as well. We'll be doing the final word over on Toffee TV Premier Live on Monday. Make sure you check that out. The link for Toffee TV Premier is in the description, and the QR code will be up on the screen in a second. See you later.